Are you tired of feeling stuck in the same cycle of stress, pain, and frustration? What if there was a way to break free? A secret to ending suffering that's been hidden in plain sight for thousands of years. Over 2,500 years ago, the Buddha discovered the key to true freedom and happiness. His teachings reveal why we suffer and, more importantly, how to overcome it. Imagine finding peace, no matter what challenges life throws at you. In this video, we're diving into the Buddha's secret to ending suffering in life. Stay with us because what you're about to learn could transform the way you see the world and yourself forever. 1. Stay calm in the face of insults. Picture this. You're walking down a peaceful path, enjoying a quiet moment, when suddenly someone throws a stone into a calm pond. The water ripples briefly before it returns to stillness. This is how insults and harsh words should be treated, like ripples in the water that eventually fade. How many times have you allowed someone's insult to disturb your inner peace? Maybe it was a comment at work, a harsh criticism from a friend, or even an unkind remark from a stranger. The truth is, these insults only harm us if we allow them to. The Buddha wisely said, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. When we hold on to anger, resentment, or frustration, we're only hurting ourselves. Insults, no matter how harsh, lose their power when we don't cling to them. They are simply words, temporary and fleeting, much like clouds passing in the sky. In modern life, we often feel the weight of insults more than we should. A coworker may criticize your work, or a friend might make an offhand comment that cuts deeper than intended. The immediate response might be anger or frustration. But what if you could pause and see the insult for what it really is? Just a reflection of the other person's struggles, not a reflection of your worth. Here's a powerful practice. The next time you face criticism or an insult, pause and take a deep breath. Visualize the words as clouds in the sky. Acknowledge them, but let them drift away. This small act of mindfulness creates a space between the stimulus, the insult, and your response, helping you remain grounded and in control of your emotions. By choosing not to internalize someone's negativity, you reclaim your peace. When you understand that the words and actions of others are reflections of their own inner world, you can let go of any anger or resentment and remain calm, just like the pond that returns to its stillness. 2. Be strict with yourself, tolerant of others. Imagine you're climbing a steep mountain. You've mapped your path, packed your gear, and set a steady pace. As you climb, you see others around you. Some are struggling, some are moving faster, and others are wandering off course. It's easy to feel frustrated or even judgmental. But what if instead of focusing on their struggles, you shifted your focus back to your own climb? This is the essence of the Buddhist principle. Be strict with yourself, tolerant of others. It's a delicate balance between holding yourself to high standards while extending patience and understanding to those around you. The Buddha teaches that self-discipline and self-compassion should coexist. It's important to hold ourselves accountable for our actions, but we must also recognize that not everyone is in the same place in life. Everyone has their own struggles, challenges, and timelines for growth. In today's fast-paced world, we often expect perfection from ourselves and others. You might push yourself to achieve goals, meet deadlines, or perform at your highest level. But when it comes to others, it's easy to fall into the trap of judgment, expecting them to perform the same way or holding them to the same standards. However, this mindset can lead to frustration and strained relationships. Here's a powerful shift in perspective. When you encounter someone struggling, or when someone acts in a way that challenges your patience, pause and ask yourself, are they climbing their own mountain, just like I am? Reflect on the struggles you faced, the lessons you've learned, and extend the same compassion to others that you would wish for yourself. For example, imagine you're at work and a colleague keeps missing deadlines. Instead of feeling frustrated or judgmental, recognize that they might be facing their own challenges that you don't know about. Maybe they're struggling with personal issues, or perhaps they have a different working style than you. Instead of demanding perfection from them, extend understanding and offer support where you can. This principle teaches us that self-accountability is important, but so is empathy. You don't need to lower your standards for yourself, But you also don't need to impose those standards on others. By cultivating tolerance for others, we not only foster healthier relationships, but we also create a more peaceful environment for ourselves. 3. Transform everyone into a teacher. In life, we all encounter people who test our patience, challenge our beliefs, or make us feel frustrated. Whether it's a colleague who undermines your work, a friend who disappoints you, or a stranger who cuts in line, these moments often trigger strong emotions. But what if you could see these situations differently? What if, instead of reacting with frustration, you view these individuals as teachers? This is the profound lesson behind the Buddhist principle. Transform everyone into a teacher. The Buddha teaches that every person we encounter has the potential to be a source of wisdom, even if their actions are difficult or uncomfortable. The challenges they bring into our lives, whether intentional or not, can serve as valuable lessons in patience, resilience, forgiveness, and emotional growth. It's not about agreeing with their actions or excusing poor behavior, but rather about finding what we can learn from the situation. Take a moment to reflect. Have you ever found that when you're faced with someone difficult, it's an opportunity to practice patience? Or maybe when you're dealing with an uncomfortable situation, it's an invitation to cultivate forgiveness or understanding? Let's consider an example. You're stuck in traffic and someone cuts in front of you. The natural reaction might be anger or irritation. But what if, instead of fuming, you use that moment to practice patience? What if you recognize that this person's actions are beyond your control and that your emotional response is something you can choose? In that moment, you transform the driver into your teacher, offering you a lesson in emotional regulation and peace. Similarly, someone who constantly challenges your perspective, whether through debates or differing opinions, can teach you resilience. It's easy to get defensive or frustrated when your views are questioned. But if you shift your mindset, you can see these interactions as opportunities to strengthen your beliefs, learn new things, or approach conversations with greater humility. The key is to recognize that life's challenges, whether they come from others or from within ourselves, are opportunities for growth. Instead of viewing difficult people or situations as obstacles, see them as teachers guiding you on your journey toward greater wisdom and inner peace. By transforming everyone into a teacher, you begin to view the world not through the lens of frustration or resentment, but with gratitude for the lessons that each person and each moment brings. 4. No one can hurt you without your permission. How many times have you let someone's harsh words or negative behavior affect your peace of mind? We all have, at one point or another, been stung by a hurtful comment or an unkind action. But what if we told you that, according to Buddhist teachings, no one can truly hurt you unless you allow them to? The Buddha teaches that our inner peace is in our hands. External negativity can only hurt us if we choose to let it. When we are mindful and aware of our thoughts and emotions, we create a space between what happens to us and how we choose to respond. In that space lies our power, our ability to decide how we react, whether with anger, hurt, or calm acceptance. Let's consider this. Someone criticizes your work. Instinctively, you may feel defensive or upset, but by practicing mindfulness, you can create that important pause. Instead of reacting immediately, you can choose to pause, breathe, and reflect. Is this criticism constructive, or is it coming from a place of their own issues? By asking yourself this question, you regain control over your emotions and thoughts. You can respond from a place of understanding rather than defensiveness. This principle is similar to the concept of a shield that the Buddha talks about. Your emotions and peace of mind can act like a protective barrier. When you are grounded and centered, external negativity bounces off, unable to penetrate. But when you're ungrounded or unaware, it's easy for others' negativity to penetrate and disturb your inner peace. It's also important to recognize that the words or actions of others are often a reflection of their own pain, fears, or insecurities. When someone lashes out, it's not necessarily about you. It's more about their internal struggles. By acknowledging this, you take away their power to hurt you, realizing that their actions are a result of their own experiences and not a judgment of your worth. Mindfulness is the key to this practice. By staying present and aware, You can avoid knee-jerk emotional reactions. You can choose to release hurtful words or actions, allowing them to pass through without making a mark on your peace of mind. The Buddha's wisdom reminds us that no one, no matter how cruel or negative, has the power to hurt us unless we let them. And by practicing mindfulness, we take the first step toward protecting ourselves from unnecessary emotional pain. 5. Turn envy into emulation. Envy is a powerful emotion that many of us experience at some point. Whether it's envy toward a colleague's success, a friend's relationship, or someone's accomplishments, it can leave us feeling small and dissatisfied. But what if you could turn that feeling around? What if you could use envy as a tool for personal growth rather than allowing it to cause frustration or resentment? The Buddha offers profound wisdom on this. Instead of letting envy drag you down, he suggests transforming it into emulation. Rather than seeing someone's success as a reason for resentment, use it as a guide to understand what qualities or actions you might want to cultivate in yourself. When you feel envy rising, take a moment to reflect. What is it about this person's life or achievements that sparks this feeling? Is it their confidence, their kindness, their creativity, or their discipline? Envy can serve as a mirror, showing you what you admire in others and what you might want to improve or develop in your own life. The key is to recognize that the success or qualities of others do not take away from your own potential. Instead of viewing their success as something that diminishes your worth, use it as inspiration. Let it light a fire within you to work on becoming the best version of yourself. For example, if you feel envious of a friend's career achievements, ask yourself what steps they've taken to get there. What habits or mindsets do they have that you might adopt? If it's their perseverance or work ethic that you admire, take that as an opportunity to build similar traits within yourself. By focusing on emulation rather than comparison, you can shift your energy from a negative emotion to positive, growth-oriented action. Buddhist teachings remind us that everything is impermanent, including our feelings of inadequacy or envy. By turning envy into a learning tool, you can cultivate a mindset of abundance and self-improvement. You begin to see the success of others not as a threat, but as a reminder that growth is possible for everyone, yourself included. Instead of letting envy cloud your thoughts or sap your energy, transform it into an opportunity for reflection and self-betterment. As you do this, you'll find that the emotion loses its power over you, and you'll be able to approach both yourself and others with compassion, understanding, and a desire for collective growth. 6. Practice acceptance. One of the most profound pieces of wisdom the Buddha shared is the practice of acceptance. Life is unpredictable, and we all face situations that challenge us, whether it's a difficult relationship, an unexpected setback, or an obstacle that seems insurmountable. In these moments, resistance can feel like an automatic response, the urge to push against what's happening, to fight reality, or to wish things were different. But resistance only brings suffering. The Buddha teaches us that we can't change the world or people to fit our desires, but we can change how we respond to them. By practicing acceptance, we free ourselves from unnecessary mental struggle. Acceptance doesn't mean passivity or resignation. It means acknowledging what is and choosing to act from a place of clarity and wisdom. When we accept reality as it is, we stop fighting against the flow of life. We recognize that events unfold according to their own causes and conditions, and sometimes, no matter how hard we try, things don't go the way we want them to. Rather than feeling frustrated or overwhelmed, acceptance invites us to be present and work with what's given. It allows us to focus on what we can control, our actions, thoughts, and attitudes, rather than wasting energy on what we cannot change. For example, if you're facing a setback in your career or personal life, acceptance means acknowledging the situation without judgment. Instead of berating yourself or resisting the difficulty, you ask, what can I do now to move forward? Acceptance frees up mental space, helping you focus on practical, meaningful steps that will help you grow and move towards your goals. The practice of acceptance doesn't mean we're passive about our circumstances. It doesn't mean we resign ourselves to negative situations. Rather, it's about surrendering the struggle against reality and finding the wisdom to take effective action. When we let go of resistance, we find peace in knowing that we can navigate through challenges with a calm and open mind. This doesn't always come easily, and it requires constant practice. But as you cultivate acceptance in your life, you'll find that your ability to handle difficulties increases. You no longer feel trapped by circumstances, but empowered to meet them with a clear mind and a compassionate heart. Acceptance allows you to stop wasting energy on things beyond your control and focus on what really matters: your inner peace, your growth, and your journey forward. It's about letting go of resistance to life's challenges and embracing them as opportunities for learning and transformation. 7. Live in harmony with nature. One of the Buddha's greatest teachings is the importance of understanding the natural world and aligning our lives with its rhythms. Nature doesn't rush or force things. It flows effortlessly with the cycles of change, growth, and renewal. By observing and learning from nature, we can find balance, peace, and insight. In our fast-paced, technology-driven world, it's easy to forget the wisdom that nature offers. But the Buddha encourages us to reconnect with the natural world, to see ourselves as part of it, rather than separate from it. Every leaf that falls, every season that changes, and every new sprout of life teaches us about impermanence and renewal. Living in harmony with nature means recognizing that everything has its time and place. Just as nature has seasons of growth, dormancy, and transformation, we too experience different phases in life. Sometimes we go through periods of rapid growth. Other times we need rest and reflection. The Buddha encourages us to flow with these cycles instead of resisting them. For instance, when you're facing a challenging time, it's helpful to remember that nature doesn't rush or push. Plants don't grow by force. They grow at their own pace, guided by the natural conditions around them. Just as nature takes time to nurture seeds into full-grown trees, we too must give ourselves the space to grow and evolve. The wisdom of nature also teaches us the importance of balance. Nature works in harmony, with each element supporting and sustaining the others. By living in harmony with nature, we learn to cultivate balance in our own lives, balancing work and rest, action and reflection, and engagement with the world, and moments of stillness. When we're attuned to nature, we're reminded that life is not meant to be a constant struggle. It's about flow, patience, and understanding that life unfolds in its own time. By slowing down, appreciating the simple beauty of the world around us, and letting go of our desire to control everything, we create space for peace and harmony in our lives. Taking time to connect with nature can be as simple as taking a walk outside, sitting by a river, or observing the stars at night. These small moments remind us that we are part of something much bigger than ourselves, and that we can learn profound lessons from the natural world. By living in harmony with nature, we cultivate a deep sense of peace, renewal, and connection to the world around us. Nature's cycles of growth, decay, and rebirth show us that even in times of hardship, new beginnings are always possible. Are you ready to integrate this principle of living in harmony with nature into your life? Let me know your thoughts. 8. Practice ethical living. Ethical living is a cornerstone of Buddhist practice and a pathway to inner peace. At its heart, it means living in alignment with values like honesty, compassion, and integrity, regardless of the challenges we face. When we root ourselves in these ethical principles, we create a solid foundation that allows us to navigate life's ups and downs with steadiness and clarity. The Buddha taught that ethical conduct is not just about following rules, but about cultivating a way of being that brings us into harmony with ourselves and others. By adhering to values such as honesty, kindness, and respect, we foster a deep sense of trust within our hearts and in our relationships. Living ethically isn't always easy, especially in challenging situations where our patience is tested or when we feel tempted to act out of anger or fear. However, when we stick to our ethical principles, we maintain our integrity and preserve our peace of mind, even in difficult moments. For example, honesty helps clear away the clutter of deceit, creating a space for clarity and authenticity. When we are truthful, both with ourselves and with others, we avoid the internal turmoil that comes from dishonesty and the strain it places on relationships. Even when the truth is uncomfortable, being honest allows us to move forward without the burden of guilt or shame. Compassion, too, is a key part of ethical living. It means offering kindness and understanding to others, especially in times of difficulty. When we respond with compassion rather than judgment or anger, we create a sense of connection and openness that can transform our relationships and the world around us. By showing empathy to others, we learn to navigate conflict with a calm and loving heart. Moreover, practicing ethical living doesn't mean striving for perfection, but rather committing to grow and learn each day. When we slip up or fall short of our ideals, the Buddha encourages us to be gentle with ourselves and to view our mistakes as opportunities for growth. The goal is not to judge ourselves harshly, but to continuously practice aligning our actions with the values that lead us toward peace and happiness. In times of difficulty, your ethical values can act as a steady guide. If you are faced with a tough decision or a moment of conflict, asking yourself what your core values are can help you navigate the situation with clarity and ease. When your actions are grounded in honesty, compassion, and respect, you can maintain your inner peace regardless of external circumstances. Living ethically helps you build a strong, peaceful foundation that will support you through life's challenges. By practicing ethical conduct, you create an environment of trust, compassion, and harmony within yourself and in your relationships. Are you ready to explore how ethical living can enhance your peace of mind? Let me know what resonates with you. 9. Cultivate gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most transformative practices in Buddhism. It shifts your focus from what you don't have to the abundant blessings already present in your life. By actively cultivating gratitude, you invite peace and contentment into your heart, regardless of external circumstances. In our busy lives, it's easy to get caught up in what's missing or what needs to change. We often focus on the things we lack: a bigger house, a better job, more recognition. But Buddhism teaches that true happiness is not found in external possessions or achievements. It's found in appreciating what we already have. When we shift our focus to the present moment and acknowledge our blessings, we begin to experience a profound sense of peace and fulfillment. The practice of gratitude invites us to slow down and reflect on the countless gifts in our lives, big and small. It's easy to overlook the simple things, like the warmth of the sun on your face, the smile of a loved one, or the beauty of nature around you. Yet, these are the moments that contribute to our well-being and joy. One way to cultivate gratitude is through a daily gratitude practice. Each day, take a few moments to reflect on the things you're grateful for. This could be something as simple as a warm cup of tea, a meaningful conversation, or the opportunity to learn something new. By making gratitude a part of your daily routine, you shift your mindset and begin to see the abundance in your life. Gratitude also helps us to be present in the moment. Often, we get so caught up in the past or future that we miss the beauty of the present. Practicing gratitude allows us to fully appreciate what's happening right now without worrying about what's next. In Buddhism, mindfulness and gratitude go hand in hand. When we are mindful, we are more aware of the gifts in our lives and more able to experience gratitude in each moment. Another powerful aspect of gratitude is that it encourages us to connect with others. When we express appreciation for those around us, we strengthen our relationships and deepen our sense of connection. A simple thank you or an acknowledgement of someone's kindness can foster goodwill and create a positive atmosphere of mutual respect. The Buddha taught that gratitude is essential for cultivating a peaceful mind. When we are grateful, we release the attachment to desires and expectations that often lead to frustration and suffering. Gratitude helps us let go of the constant yearning for more and instead find contentment in what we already have. Moreover, gratitude strengthens our resilience. During difficult times, gratitude helps us stay grounded and find meaning in the challenges we face. It reminds us that even in moments of hardship, there are still things to be thankful for. This mindset shift can help us face adversity with a sense of hope and courage. By practicing gratitude, we create a peaceful and positive state of mind that enhances our overall well-being. It's a simple yet profound way to cultivate happiness, build deeper connections with others, and live a life of greater contentment. What are you grateful for today? Share your thoughts, and let's continue on this journey of peaceful living together. Ready for the next principle? 10. Let go and trust the process. In Buddhism, one of the most powerful teachings is the art of letting go, releasing attachment to specific outcomes and trusting the flow of life. This doesn't mean abandoning our goals or desires, but rather allowing ourselves to surrender to the natural process of life, knowing that what's meant for us will unfold at the right time. We live in a world that constantly pressures us to control every aspect of our lives, whether it's our career, relationships, or personal goals. There's often an underlying fear that if we don't steer the ship in the exact direction we envision, we'll miss out on opportunities or fail in some way. But attachment to outcomes can be a source of stress and anxiety. When we're overly focused on the end goal, we may overlook the richness of the journey itself. Buddhist teachings remind us that life is uncertain, ever-changing, and beyond our control. The key to peace is not in trying to control every aspect of our future, but in trusting that life will unfold as it should. By letting go of rigid expectations, we open ourselves up to unexpected possibilities and greater joy in the present moment. The first step in letting go is recognizing that we are not in control of everything. While we can take action toward our goals, the outcome is often influenced by factors beyond our understanding. This realization brings us a sense of relief as it frees us from the burden of perfectionism and constant worry about getting it right. Instead of holding on tightly to how things should unfold, we can learn to embrace uncertainty and find peace in the process. Trusting the process also involves having faith in our own resilience and the wisdom of the universe. Life may not always unfold according to our plan, but that doesn't mean it's leading us astray. Sometimes the challenges and detours we face are the very things that help us grow and evolve. When we let go of attachment to a fixed outcome, we invite space for life to surprise us with new opportunities, growth, and learning. This principle encourages us to practice patience and self-compassion. It's easy to become frustrated when things don't happen as quickly as we want them to, or when outcomes don't match our expectations. But true peace comes when we accept that the process is just as important, if not more so, than the destination. Every moment holds valuable lessons if we allow ourselves to experience it fully without rushing to the end. By letting go, we also learn to release the weight of past mistakes and regrets. We often hold on to old failures, thinking they define us or hinder our progress. But in truth, holding on to the past only limits our potential. When we trust the process, we allow ourselves to move forward with clarity without the burden of past disappointments. Buddhism teaches that the key to true happiness is in detaching from outcomes and finding peace in the present moment. It's in trusting that we are exactly where we need to be right now and that everything we encounter is part of our personal growth. We may not always understand why things happen the way they do, but by letting go and embracing the journey, we cultivate peace, acceptance, and a deeper trust in ourselves and the universe. Remember, the journey itself is the reward. Trust it, let go, and allow life to guide you where you need to go. Embrace the path to inner peace. As we journey through life, it's easy to become caught up in the chaos, frustrations, and struggles of everyday existence. Yet the teachings of Buddhism offer us profound wisdom on how to cultivate a life of inner peace, even in the face of challenges. By practicing mindfulness, embracing impermanence, letting go of attachments, and living with compassion, we begin to unlock a deeper sense of serenity and joy. Remember, the path to peace is not about avoiding difficulties, but rather about responding to them with clarity, patience, and understanding. It's about being fully present in the moment, letting go of unnecessary attachments, and trusting that life will unfold as it should. Each of these practices, whether it's staying calm in the face of insults, transforming envy into growth, or cultivating gratitude, helps us build a strong foundation of peace within ourselves. The journey toward inner peace is ongoing. It requires commitment, self-awareness, and a willingness to grow. But as we embrace the teachings of Buddhism and apply them in our daily lives, we discover that true peace is not something to be attained in the future, but something we can experience in every moment. So as you move forward on your path, remember that you have the tools to create the peace and tranquility you seek. Let go of the need to control every outcome, Trust in the process and embrace life's ebb and flow with open-hearted acceptance. Peace is not a distant goal, but a way of living. It is within you, waiting to be discovered with each mindful step you take.